In wildlife medicine, true healing goes beyond treating illness. It embraces the whole animal. Integrated and alternative therapies, when used responsibly, complement modern veterinary science. From herbal support to physiotherapy and stress reduction techniques, each tool has its place. Join us as we uncover thoughtful, ethical ways to support health naturally and scientifically together.
Hi everyone. Today I would like to discuss about another interesting topic called traditional medicine in our country. The Indian subcontinent has rich ethnoveterinary health traditions that are the products of decades of experiences. And also the traditional medicine that are commonly used for animal health care can cut down cost considerably. Moreover, they are readily available to the ordinary farmers, and before the English medicine starts, people have been using this traditional medicinal knowledge by using various components of plants and then various forms or the outputs of these plants for both human as well as the animal health practices. In fact, the World Health Organization mentions at least 80% of the people in developing countries depend largely on indigenous practices for the control and treatment of various diseases affecting both human beings and their animals. These traditional healing practices are called ethnoveterinary medicine. So this ethnoveterinary medicine has got almost around 5,000 years of history, which was very well documented. And even in the veterinary science in India can be classified into codified traditions and folk medicine, and has a documented history of again this 5,000 years. And these traditional knowledge and the rich and efficient ethnoveterinary tradition exist in the villages of India, which form integral part of the family and plays an important social, religious and economic role. So when we talk about this ethnoveterinary practices, it's not only applicable for the domestic animal, because the major evolvement of these practice happened through farmers for all the domestic animals primarily. But of course, in my last 20 years of exposure to wildlife veterinary practice in India, we are very much inclined to use a lot of Ayurvedic or even this ethnoveterinary practice even in preventive care and a lot of wildlife veterinary practices in our country. Especially we at Wildlife SOS Elephant Care and Conservation Center, we use a lot of ethnoveterinary practices for foot care and a lot of abscess and wound treatment for elephants, because it always takes a lot of time, and more than English medicine or allopathic medicine, we always prefer to go for a natural products, and then it gives less side effects and also less toxic to all the other vital organs, and it's a part of an integrated medicine. So we always prefer to do this whenever it is possible, and when there is a time limit to ensure these abscess or even long-standing wounds or chronic injuries or illness of these rescued elephants can always be addressed through a lot of ethnoveterinary practices. And as we already mentioned, that making documentation of these effective ethnoveterinary practices, or even making notes and also dissemination of the knowledge, and in fact publication of those ethnoveterinary practices makes a lot of improvement in terms of chronic ailments or infections with respect to elephants, and I'm sure it is definitely applicable for all other animals in the captive environment. So I still remember one of the pioneer of this particular ethnoveterinary medicine in our country is Dr. Punyamurthy, and everybody knows about him, and he has done tremendous work on establishing a lot of write-ups and also publications, and in fact a book or a booklet in ethnoveterinary practice, so that it will be useful, and then everyone can start utilizing it and start documenting it in order to get a desired effect, and with a economical way, and also it is less side effect products. And in fact, the National Dairy Development Board has even issued a short manual in ethnoveterinary formulations for important ailments in bovines. So I'm sure these traditional medicines, with this basic information, then we can always extrapolate and then start using such kind of preparations for wildlife veterinary practice as well. So just for example, in bovines, the mastitis problems are easily addressed through turmeric powder, aloe vera, lemon and lime. So mixture of this in a certain proportion always makes this problem very easily resolved, and then it is very animal friendly and tissue friendly. And like other problems of the udder, like teat obstructions, neem leaf stalks, turmeric powder, ghee or butter, a mixture of these things again creates a better relief for these kind of teat obstructions rather than going for any allopathic medicines. So when there is a remedy available by using these kind of traditional medicine, and it needs to be properly documented and ensure that the efficacies are really established in a scientific way, only then it is easier and it is quicker to achieve such kind of results. So for example, udder edema, again sesame or mustard oil along with turmeric powder and garlic mixture always makes a lot of improvement in udder edema. And in fact, even retention of placenta can also be treated very well by using lady's finger, salt, jaggery and radish combination to get relieved of this retention placenta in case of bovines. And repeat breeders are again another important area where these ethnoveterinary practices are highly in practice, like radish, scissors, jaggery, curry leaf, salt, moringa, turmeric powder and aloe vera. The combination of these items in certain proportions definitely gives a good result to avoid such kind of repeat breeders. And of course, prolapse has got its own ingredients of aloe vera, turmeric powder and mimosa leaves in certain proportions, and these all informations are available in that NDRI manuscript, and it can definitely be extrapolated to different species of wild animals to establish a proper ethnoveterinary medicine practices in wildlife healthcare areas. And like FMD mouth lesions can be easily addressed through cumin, garlic, fenugreek, turmeric powder, coconut, jaggery and pepper combination. And foot lesions can also be addressed with the same kind of proportionately added ingredients. And a simple pyrexia can be dealt with coriander, garlic, bay leaves, pepper, betel, sriracha, turmeric powder, cumin, tulsi, neem, sweet basil, jaggery, and onion. So the important of all these ingredients are commonly used for multiple ailments or multiple problems or health issues of various animals, and primarily bovine was taken as an example in this presentation. But the proportion of all these things are very important, which was already established in the case of bovine. So we can definitely make use of this basic knowledge and then try to incorporate such kind of proportions and then come up with a new proportion or even a combination. We can definitely deal such kind of problems with respect to even wild animals, because in the nature the wild animals always deal with the self-curing. So the self-medication is always existing in case of wild animals, because in the wild, as we all know, that they won't get any access to any veterinary help. So they know which plant at what kind of problem they have to eat, and then they resolve their issues on their own. And they learn these traditional knowledge through their instinct or through their ancestors or even their parents or even the herd. So it's a kind of knowledge incorporated already in the blood of all the wild animals. So we can just encourage such kind of practices in order to ensure that the vital organs are very functional, and then it will not give any kind of adverse effect, and it is always nature friendly and organic items, so that this will reduces any kind of complications because of allopathic or in any other way of doing it. So this practice definitely needs some kind of emphasis, and then I would really request all the fellow veterinarians, whosoever is trying to utilize or use or formulate any such kind of ethnoveterinary practice, kindly put it on record and then make sure that you are documenting it, so that evidence-based scientific reports will be available, and benefit to the animal, as well as it encourages the conservation areas, so that the broader picture can be achieved. So such kind of things are available to address pox, warts and cracks, and also used for, such kind of ethnoveterinary practices are followed in ticks and ectoparasitic control and worm control, and some swellings of the joints like hygroma. Even a simple cough has got a remedy of adudoda, pepper, tulsi, garlic, turmeric powder along with jaggery in certain proportions can be given over a period of time, 2 to 3 times daily. So such kind of formulations are always available, and then we can definitely make use of such practices to get the benefit for these wild animals, at least in the captive environment or in any kind of zoo, rescue and rehabilitation centers for the benefit of the wild animals. To conclude, the integrated medicine in wildlife practice is a valuable approach that enhances animal care through a comprehensive blend of conventional and alternative therapies. It is also offers promising strategies for supporting species recovery, population sustainability, and the well-being of individual animals in human care.